Welcome into the College Basketball Podcast on the Betting the Pitch Podcast Network, known as the Need for Seeds. We are back. We are in control. I wish could find my shirt. I was running for it. If you're watching this live or watching our video at Big East Bend, is with the Need for Seeds shirt up in the air, Marshall Henderson style over his head. Big East flag is back in the background, and we got a Nike headband, sponsor of this show. Big East Bend, we went 2-0 in our last episode on another network. Are you ready for another 2-0 tonight?
Oh yeah, I got a pick that's gonna blow everyone's mind. No, not really. Yeah, man. What was our best bets last week? What was it?
They were Virginia Tech +4 from yours truly. And we also had a Washington State +4.5. So those are two winners on the last episode. Now we go
It
forward.
was not Washington State +4.5. That was a loser
Oh,
a couple weeks ago. I had TCU
yeah, sorry,
one and a
sorry,
half.
sorry. I'm looking at an old thing. You're right. You at TCU, which I did jump on. Thank you, Big East Ben, for contributing to the wedding fund of the woman I don't even know yet. And also, I gave out Arkansas -1. That's what it was against Tennessee. And we got Arkansas, Tennessee, no TCU on this card, but we do have some things to talk about. We have some big games to discuss. We got four of the biggest ones on the slate. Big East Ben, what have I missed in this last week of college basketball, or what do you want the listeners to know of what's been going down on the hardwood?
Well, you picked a good game to back Virginia Tech. I unfortunately backed them this week against Stanford, hosting Stanford, 12-point lead, two
Mm.
minutes left. Virginia Tech -4.5. We're in the driver's seat. The Hokies at home against the West Coast soft team with a point guard from Nashua, New Hampshire, which I can vouch for is an absolute shithole. No dice. Kobe,
How did that end from 12 points up, only
they
needing to
lost
win by
outright.
five?
They lost outright. If
Okay.
you had Virginia Tech money line, you didn't even win.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that was a crazy bad beat. Shout out my guys from Milwaukee, Marquette. We are not going 0-20 in the Big East. We are not pulling a 2018, 2019 Vanderbilt Bryce Drew.
Oof.
Uh,
Ouch.
Beat Xavier. Didn't cover. Your boy was on X. So win-win. It was great.
I mean, that's ideal.
And then I just want to give just one shout out and wax poetically about a team I have fallen in love with. The Denver Pioneers are now 14-0-1 to the over. It was not looking good last night against South Dakota State. I had 163.5. There was 26 points scored through the first 10 minutes. And Denver, the Go Pios
Go
find a
Pios.
way.
The Pios.
The team is beautifully constructed, Griffin. They might pull a 78 Hoosiers to the over this season. They're normally underdogs in every game. They stay in the game for the first 35 minutes. They push the favorite, and then they always collapse at the end to a level of 6 or 7 points. So it ends up being a free throw shooting contest. It's incredible. I'm they've been on the road the last three games, but I think next week I'm gonna finally see them in action against
Oh,
yeah, I'm doing a Big East Bet in-person best bet. We actually might have the first ever Big East Bet in-person best bet tomorrow. I'm thinking
ooh.
about copping tickets to see the Buffs take on Texas Tech.
Okay.
Um, but I'm thinking North Dakota State next Thursday over game at home. Big East Men best bet. Go Pios.
Now, what is the nickname of the North Dakota State college team?
It was the Fighting Sioux.
Yep, no
Great
longer.
logo.
No
Great
longer. No,
logo.
that's unfortunately those are banned now.
Um, oh. Oh, I was thinking North Dakota was a Fighting Sioux.
Nope, North Dakota State was, I believe.
No, North Dakota State. No, North Dakota. Or is North Dakota still the Fighting Sioux?
No one is a fighting Sioux anymore because that's not allowed.
They're the Fighting Hawks. North Dakota State's the Bison. North Dakota was the Fighting Sioux, though.
They were. North Dakota
Yes.
State was the fighting
No,
Sioux.
North Dakota.
All right, do you want to do a third
Oh my
Final Four
God,
dinner bet
dinner.
on this one? Because it's go read them and weep, Ben. Go ahead.
North Dakota nicknames.
North Dakota State. is what we're looking for. The Fighting Sioux. Na,
But
na,
they
na,
changed their
na,
colors, dude.
na,
Crap.
na, 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 na,
What?
na,
Wait, are you kidding me?
na,
No, I'm right. I'm right. I'm
No,
right.
North Dakota
North
State Fighting
Dakota
Sioux.
Fighting Sioux.
Okay, fine. I guess I'm only
You're
down.
wrong. Dinner
Damn,
at
down.
Carbone's.
Damn, I'm down to one free dinner now. Shit. Okay. Well, we're going to go through the big games on this card. We have two 11 a.m. starts. It's almost like the college basketball slate is a little bit concerned with the NFL playoffs getting kicked off. They're like, nope, we're not messing with that one. So we'll start where I guess we should always start. Houston at Baylor. Beautiful Waco. Go to Crickets at 9 a.m. or something like that. I'm not sure what else there is to do in that town. Right now, the Houston Cougars are
Start a
3-point
cult.
favorites. Huh?
Start a cult.
Yeah, just make sure you get the guns out
Shout
before
out the BDs.
the BDs. Yeah, so 3-point underdogs are Baylor at home. Totals 144. Are you a buyer of this Houston team?
Kind of. I really
Kind
like Kingston Flemings.
He's good.
Makes me a little nervous, but
Because,
his hair,
okay.
I don't trust the hair on that point guard.
I mean, after John Henson told you you had great hair, I feel like you've really totally bought into the hair thing being a real indicator of people.
Yeah, I mean it's what they say, the eyes are a passage to the
The soul.
bowl. The
Hmm.
hair is a passage to holding a 6 point lead against Texas Tech and then allowing a three to protect the cover at the buzzer by Christian Anderson.
Yeah, my very tech related office didn't say much after that game happened, so I figured there wasn't a lot that went down in their favor.
Is Scott Drew just like stashing James Andre to let the controversy blow over, or does James Andre just suck?
I mean, it might be that, Baylor's known for redshirting players in times in this world in NIL where people don't ever redshirt anymore. So I wonder if he signed an NBA G League player just to redshirt him and have Tom Izzo go crazy. But I don't think that's gonna happen either.
They didn't have a uniform ready for him in the first game. He played with no name on his back.
Hey, I
And
mean,
then Iowa State, 16 minutes, took one shot, 2 points.
so do you think it's a little bit overblown, this whole thing?
I think so. And like we were talking about the other night, you sent out that stat about how 7 players on Baylor play over 50% of the minutes and the
Scary.
remaining play 6%. Yeah, man, they are 350th in the country in bench minutes this season. They've been thin at at on the bench, 284 last year. Um, 330, like Scott Drew does not like depth. What's up with that?
Well,
I feel
that's
I
probably
feel like
why
the
he's
2020 team was freaking loaded.
I think that's why he's gone into the transfer portal mid-season, or AKA the free agency, whatever we're calling this at this point. That's a problem, and honestly, is not sustainable. I'm sure it's related to injuries because he didn't build a team for only 7 players to play meaningful minutes, but it's definitely not a great setup and not one you certainly want.
But what's surprising is like Houston, 351st in the country at getting the strike. Like they're not going to like draw a ton of fouls, but they are going to beat you up on defense. Play very physical. I think they wear Baylor down. I know this game was close in Waco last year. That was Baylor's senior day though. So I'm going to back the short road favorite here. I just think Baylor's. I don't think Houston's as good as they were last year, obviously, but I think this Baylor team is bottom half of the Big 12 for sure.
I'm going to take the home team as potentially a last stand. It's really rough having two big games in the same week, I got to say. I don't love that setup. I'm just going to back the pedigree of Scott Drew, though certainly if there's a bad showing here or something doesn't look great, I will certainly start looking to run for the hills. We'll move to the next game on the list, and that is Tennessee at Florida. Tennessee, I thought was really competitive against Arkansas, just kind of ran out of gas, or I still don't understand why that number was where it was. I mean, the Hogs to me are still a really good team, but we'll talk to them in a little bit. Currently, Florida 5.5 point favorites at home, totals 150 in this matchup. Tennessee needs to start showing some stuff on the road, or they're just going to be the same team they always are.
So if me or you tried to have sex with Boogie Flan's 3-point shooting percentage, would we or would we not get arrested?
Ooh, are you saying it's a minor?
That's what I'm asking you to guess.
I'm going to say yes.
We would not get arrested, but it would raise some eyebrows. 19% on the season is Boogie Flan.
It's half your age plus 7, right? So if I go half my age, we're already in danger.
Yeah. Xavier Lee, the big Princeton transfer, that guy's, you know, if Xavier Lee, if you're listening, just try gooping your hair a little bit. It's
Oh,
like
we're
it's
back to the
way
hair.
too floppy. He's just playing with it all game,
Mm.
and you're getting 26 3-point. You need something tight. You want to be tight. You want to be confident. Like, shoot out a telephone booth, hair goop back, or wear a headband or something. Like it's way too floppy.
Way too floppy.
Tennessee, I don't know what's going on with Tennessee. Nate Ament, I don't know if you've seen this. Like, I've seen videos. I don't know what the meaning of this is, but Tennessee fans are posting Nate Ament highlights interspersed with clips of Saddam Hussein on Twitter. Look it up. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Um, Look, man, yeah, two really underachieving SEC teams. Tennessee's big strength is offensive rebounding. Florida's going to totally cancel that out with Condon, Chinleyu, and Hanligoden. Fifth in the country in defense rebounding than Florida, just awesome in offense rebounding as well, 44%. I can't get a really good read on this game. The total does seem high, but both of these teams just kicked the shit out of each other at home last season. And I'm going to bank on that happening again. Hopefully, Florida got a little more confidence after they were able to blow out Georgia after Samoto Surreal punched someone in the face and got ejected. And then that was it for Georgia in the second half. But I'm going to back. You know who would probably go after Boogie Flan's 3-point percentage is the head coach for the Gators. I'm gonna
Ah,
back Florida here.
I haven't heard. What's that story?
I'm done talking about it. I did my best.
You tried really hard. I mean, shouting it from the mountaintops of San Antonio, or at least through the river walk, trying to get the reflection off the water was very admirable. And I think the longtime listeners of the Need for Seeds College Basketball Podcast, Marquette Warriors 84, and plenty of others would really appreciate your continuing steadfast chase of get Todd Golden thrown in jail with throwing away the key. But I understand. I'll back Todd Golden in his Instagram dungeon or just following around chicks to class. He doesn't have to worry about that. That's probably a pregame regimen for him. Just sit outside in one of the classes on Friday and watch the young 19-year-old. Speaking of Boogie Flan's 3-point percentage, walking around. I'll back Florida. I just think Tennessee hasn't shown on the road for, I don't know, the entire Rick Barnes tenure. Maybe when
Yeah.
they were a 1 seed back in the day, but it was kind of a gift. Our best bet winner on Arkansas a couple weekends ago. Last weekend it was. Wow, time flies. But forgive me for a lot of dry Januaries that are out there. I've had a very wet one. Just hit my first day of sobriety like Sunday of last week, so it was a really rough start to the season, the year, all those sort of things. But we're getting back on the train in a little bit for the choo choo for the college football semifinal, the second one. Next game we'll go to is Nebraska at Indiana. I got a lot of thoughts on the Nebraska game at Ohio State, more so thoughts about Ohio State, but then they went and won at Oregon last night. But right now, Indiana 4.5 point favorites at home, totals 149. Are you buying the Fred Hoiberg suddenly is the defensive coach mastermind agenda? We're playing Nebraska ball. We love that Nebraska ball.
I love Nebraska, man. I love Rink Mast.
I mean,
Uh,
yes,
I
yes.
love Brendan Frager.
What a
Brendan
name.
Frager
What a
is
name.
one of my favorite players. Shout out him in the Michigan State game. doing the gun motion to Jeremy Fears, getting a technical foul. Actually, I was very pissed at the time because I was on Nebraska and it spurred like a 10-0 Michigan State
As
run
was
right
I.
after
As was
that.
I. Yes, yes, yes.
And then doubling down, posting it to Instagram with a caption, "No fear." And then the kicker, Jeremy Fears was shot 2 years ago. I did learn, Griffin. I did
I did
learn.
not know he was shot. I just thought it was a reference to him bricking every shot from the perimeter that night.
Yeah, but this is a situation. It wasn't like hey, I'm minding my own business. It was him and his. It was a Cheddar Bob situation from 8 Mile where him and his buddies were
Ah.
fooling around with a gun and he shot himself.
Mm,
So like,
mm.
piss off, Michigan State fans. Brendan Frager, keep going, man. Um. Anyway,
One
Bryce,
underrated part of that before you keep going is Brendan Frager or Braden Frager, excuse me. It's still a name hard for me to think about. Guess how many more times they play Michigan State this year?
they play probably at the Breslin. I'm gonna guess, and I
They
will
do
bet.
not. That was their only meeting.
Oh,
So
really?
he gets the win, gets away with it, and unless they see each other in the Big Ten
Big
tournament,
Ten.
he gets
Yeah.
away. And there's no real bulletin board or whatever you call it material.
So yeah, big fan of this Nebraska team. Indiana plays well at home though. They took care of Washington pretty easily. They beat they actually haven't even played that. They beat Kansas State. I mean, they've really just struggled on the road. They dropped that kind of suspect one to Minnesota, and then they dropped one to Kentucky, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kentucky season saved." I got more on that a little bit later, but.
Okay.
I mean, again, I really want to watch Indiana with that absolute demolition of Marquette. I think like Nebraska plays to the style of their opponent. They put up a lot of points in that game against Illinois on the road, and then they're obviously comfortable winning in a dogfight to the Michigan State game. So Indiana's an offensive team. I think Nebraska is going to match that. I'm going to go with over 149. And I want to hear your thoughts on the Indiana Ohio State game. I had the over in that one. Great out of last play of the game drawn up by Ohio State there. I thought we were going to get to overtime, but what were your thoughts?
Really, it's more of my thoughts on Ohio State and Christoph Tilly. Do you consider him to be a Big Ten quality big man?
No, I would have him above Ben Gold, but below Big Ten quality big man.
Yeah, Sharman makes me feel like he would stand up in the water much better than Christoph Tilly. I just was watching him in the Nebraska game at home. Maybe the crowd wasn't great. I figured we might get a little bit of a boost after the college football season ended. So sad for you Ohio State Buckeye fans. Always the nicest people around in every game I go to. But I just was watching him just absolutely get destroyed, take the worst shots possible, brick free throws, and I was like, this is the guy. I mean, I think we've been pretty loud on this podcast, or at least I have, about Mr. Diebler stealing that job at Ohio State and a bunch of paychecks. He seems like a complete maniac. Maybe not even a good maniac. Like there's good college basketballs that are coaches that are just crazy. I don't really know that his brother made a lot of threes, but that's not him either. And he didn't play worth at all. I thought he had a big upset against Purdue way back when they fired Chris Holtman. Why does he have that job still? He also did this weird thing where he takes a sip of water out of a Gatorade bottle and wipes his face down with a Gatorade towel and puts it back on, and they just keep showing it over and over again. As I'm hoping that he'll somehow spur up some sort of energy in a team that's getting basically manhandled by the softest team in the Big Ten for the last 10 years, it feels like in Nebraska. I didn't see it. Then they go on the road and win at Oregon, so that was big for them. But go figure. Me unable to predict an Oregon game is unfortunately how it goes. I'm taking Indiana at home as a favorite. It's bigger than I like to lay. I just don't really believe in Nebraska just yet. To your point, it's great that they can win high scoring and low scoring games. It's important if you want to win games like this. Maybe I'm just continually going to keep going and going until they go undefeated this whole season. I can't fathom how they're 14 and 0, top 10 in the Big Ten, and we have what's his name, Steve Smith saying, "Yeah, now they're the hunted. Let's see how they can handle it." Steve Smith, by the way, worth about as much as Sharman on the sideline, but I guess he played in the NBA for a while, so good for him.
Uh,
Okay.
You're really using that Sherman reference, Kobe.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next game on the list and last one we'll cover on this episode is the Arkansas Razorbacks. They are on the road at Auburn right now. 1.5 point dogs, totals 172. All I know is Nepo baby, and I'll let you go.
Did you watch the I should have seen this comment. Did you take Arkansas against Ole Miss?
I did not. I'm not a road favorite player, so no. But unfortunately, you knew that eventually some things the chickens would come home to roost at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I turned that game on and I'm just like, what happened to the Ole Miss? What happened to the Marshall Henderson Ole Miss crowd that I know and love? And then I realized everyone was in Phoenix.
Oops.
Uh, yeah. Crazy game, by the way. Were you on a side for that?
Yes, I gave out Miami plus three. Excuse me, Ole Miss plus 3.5. So that went well.
Do me a favor. So there's been talk about like if they ever made like a Indiana a movie about Indiana football, like who would play Kirk Signetti. And like I've heard
Justin
like
Timberlake.
I've heard like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, let's say Justin Timberlake. If you need a villain for that movie played by Mario Cristobal, Google the actor Danny Houston, Huston, and tell me not that is not the perfect actor to play Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, 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 yeah. For
Isn't
sure.
that dead ringer?
Danny Houston from he's in whatever the Kevin Costner thing out west.
He's the bad, and his experience playing the villain. He is the bad guy in season one of Yellowstone.
Right. He
He
tries
is
to bang his
also,
daughter. Yeah, hell yeah.
yep, he is also the head vampire in 40 Days of Night, starring Josh Hartnett. Great.
Oh, I wonder who put that one on the little TV recently.
You got to explain yourself when you make these like sly references.
I figured you're not watching a Josh Hartnett movie, but
No, that's a good one, dude. I saw that in theaters as a kid, and I've seen it probably like that's
Oh,
a real.
I figured the wife came home from a rough day at work. She's like, I want to watch a scary movie and just be a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And
She
you're like,
doesn't.
okay, babe.
She doesn't like the monster. Like she doesn't like zombies. She doesn't like she likes like stupid like a woman is in danger and she's being like stalked and
Ooh,
like she
ooh.
likes home invasion scary movies.
Uh, Yikes. Well, I can only imagine what podcast you listen to when you guys go to sleep. Also, I just saw an advertisement when I was opening up my Paramount Plus today. Do you remember the Greyjoy, whatever guy from Game of Thrones? Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Reek,
Yeah,
DeAndre Jordan.
he's now like a teacher that kidnaps his student and no one suspects him. And everyone's like, obviously it was Reek that did it, but that's maybe should be next on our list.
Yeah, remember he gets his you know what cut off.
Not his pinky finger.
Yeah, yeah. Back
What
to
am I
this
gonna
game.
pee out of?
So yeah, Arkansas, you know, they're rolling, man. They're like Cal's like being very bombastic in press conferences again. He looks really good in that, you know, sport coat every game. Um,
You think he washes it?
yeah,
Or he just has 50 of them. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure he's doing okay financially.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but Auburn, coming off a two-game losing streak, absolute insane games. The last two, down by four with 1 second left. They tie the game against Georgia this in overtime and then lose. And then you had the Keyshawn Hall buzzer beater to beat Texas and A&M with zero point 0.6 seconds left. Radio crew's getting crazy. Everyone's going nuts. Sorry, folks. It was still on his fingertips. You should have had the cameras that they were using in the Creighton Marquette game from 2019, where it was
Ooh.
definitely still on Sam Hauser's fingertips, but the cameras were not close enough or were not HD enough to have irrefutable evidence to overturn it. So absolute insane games, and I think we're going to get another absolutely insane game with these two teams with these two jerseys. Um,
but like Arkansas's defense has been slipping, man. Like even in the Ole Miss game, they were in control, but they gave up 87 points to Ole Miss, who I think is garbage, by the way. That's one of Chris Beard's worst teams he's ever had.
Yeah,
They gave
yeah.
up 74 to James Madison. They gave up 94 to Houston, in their last loss. And then Auburn has not been much better. Crazy game, up tempo. There's going to be great shot making. I can see a guy like Pettiford, Brazil, Keyshawn Hall going like one of these guys going for 30 plus. I'm going over 171.
Over 171. Yeah, I just don't believe in Auburn. We'll see if the jungle what it looks like on. I mean, it should be a pretty good environment. I think there's enough for me that I want to keep backing Arkansas, so I'll take the 1.5. I know rare to see a road team on my card on this Need for Seeds College Basketball podcast, but I'm a believer in Arkansas. You're totally right. Their defense is not anywhere near as good as a Cal team. I'm wondering if it improves throughout the season because it has to, or they're going to eventually start losing some games. But I still think Arkansas. I mean, I got to say they have so much talent. And they have so much depth. Like they're
No.
bottom five players seem to be as, I mean, pretty much, I think Florida Mr. Basketball transferred over Malik Ewan from Florida State. He's awesome and plays really well with Trayvon Brazil, probably because they bang the same girl that I know here locally in Dallas. Weird. Not sure if it was together, but I guess that's breaking news. Welcome to the Need for Seeds College Basketball podcast back on the
But
Real
wasn't
Discord
she
Warner
currently
YouTube.
with Brazil when you talked to her?
She was swapping them out, it seemed to me. I don't know like is it Thursday for one, Friday another, but she also lives here locally, so I don't really
Yeah,
know
this
how to explain that.
You got this girl's Instagram.
Yes, and I'm not putting it out here because I will literally get killed. She's a scary one, but good for them. She's got the big caterpillar eyebrows. I don't know if you're into that sort of thing.
No.
I don't know who is, but I know two men that are, amongst others, probably. But on that note, might see her in a little while, which will be very interesting when I say, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm not going to say her name. Um, and that will, I guess, put us a little bit further into the Need for Seeds College Basketball podcast, returning to at the real underscore G Warner on YouTube. We're going to clip stuff. We're going to get the graphics all coming back. We are in
Ooh.
control, as they say, and it's time to
The
get
inmates are running the asylum.
inmates are running the asylum, and it's time for some best bet winners. Big East Ben, we went 2-0 on our last podcast. Let's keep that momentum going. Where are you starting off the return to at the real underscore G Warner on YouTube, Betting the Pitch Podcast Network and Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify, at the real underscore G Warner on Instagram as I start building the reels with a floating head and such.
It's a sad state of affairs in Lexington, Kentucky. You have Kentucky losing outright to Missouri. I'm going to take the quote out of context, but Mark Pope is saying he wants to just lay in bed and kill himself. Players are, after their losses to Missouri, are just immediately putting their highlights on Instagram and then selling hats. Shout out Brandon Garrison. Shout out Otega Owe. This team is completely broken. They do not give a rat's ass. I don't know what the market keeps seeing in these guys. Missouri was 12.5 point dogs to them, won outright. You now have a Mississippi State team coming in there as 11-point dogs who have won six straight. They kind of saved their season with a big comeback at Utah. Beginning of the season,
At
they weren't
Utah.
really healthy.
At Utah.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, keep going.
it's all it was the Delta Center.
Okay.
But they were
No,
down.
no,
I
no,
was
sorry. I thought you were referencing a recent game, and I was like, whoa.
No, that was back on December 13th, and they've won
Okay,
after that. They
sorry.
they beat they beat Hookem, OT, Sean Miller.
Yeah, nine
Um,
point dogs. Explain that one to me.
uh,
Jesus.
and then they absolutely annihilated what I think is a pretty good Oklahoma team at home. Josh
Winner.
Hubbard's amazing.
Winner. Thank you.
Nice. Nice. And yeah, man, I don't know what the market keeps still seeing in this Kentucky team. I'm going Mississippi State, Chris Jans, plus 11 at Rupp.
I feel like the what threw me off a little bit on Mississippi State, and part of why I laid off that Texas game, which I'm still kicking myself because Texas is again just embarrassing itself on a basketball floor every day, it seems. But the loss at home to SMU kind of threw me off a little bit for Mississippi State. I don't know if the win against North Carolina then changes things necessarily or what that really does, but it's something. And it's a big win, and I'm happy to see, because I think Chris Jans is an awesome coach. I was honestly thinking, kind of hoping he'd get an interview at UT. Didn't happen. Got Sean Miller, and we'll see what happens when everyone's allowed to pay players and not just him. For my best bet, the real underscore G Warner across all social media platforms, I'm going with George Mason, 1.5 point underdogs at home to VCU. VCU, backed them this week. Pretty unimpressed. Don't know necessarily if I'm as a believer in the Martelli genealogy tree as Big East Ben was earlier in the season. VCU's talented forever. They're missing some players, of course. Have lost some players, the transfer portals and things of most recent days. But I'll take GMU. Always a good crowd, even during the, I guess, winter break that we're still under. Tony Skinn somehow found a way to win at George Mason, something that Kim English could never do. And this will do it for this episode of the Need for Seeds College Basketball Podcast. Returning to the Betting the Pitch Podcast Network and Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Leave 5-star reviews, write a comment, and Big East Ben will read it in a Big East Ben type of way. And of course, make sure you hit up the YouTube at the
Spanish.
Warner. Oh, yes, en español. I'll translate to English or Spanish or vice versa. I'm not sure. But that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode, which we'll figure out when that'll be. We'll tweet it out. We'll get you going, and it's time to win some money.
Yeah, we'll go to 2 days a week now.
Let's go. Why not, right?
Yeah, now that we don't have to, we're not on the payroll of, the company that can't afford us the equivalent of 3 Starbucks lattes a week.
What's that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, actually, they were Raf's funny story at my office this week. They were trying to get people. I have a job again. Yay. But they were like, to make some calls to our clients, we have this Starbucks gift card, and the first person to talk to 2 clients and get them on the phone for decent conversations, you win the Starbucks gift card. I called like 5 people, none of them answered, because who answers their phone these days? And someone eventually wins after a long time, and then they go, "Oh, why don't you throw the gift card in and see what it's worth in your account?" So they did. You want to guess the number?
10. Oh my God.
$5. I think it was like, I don't think it's as bad as that. Like, I don't think anyone knew what the number was. It could have been 500, doubtful, but yeah, $5 gift card. And I was like, keep the change, you filthy animal. And we'll see you on the next episode.
That's not even enough for one of those crappy little breakfast sandwiches.
It's nothing. It's not even useful. It's like, oh, we subsidized, I don't know, a tea, maybe. I don't even know. I don't even know what teas cost. All right, check that out. Hit us up at the real underscore G Warner at Big East Ben. And we'll see you in the next episode coming up next week.